Welcome back, everybody, to the Nerdcore Podcast, a podcast that reviews movies and talks that nerd shit. This is episode 579, and it is your review of Sangre. As always, this is the Nerd Chick here to host the show alongside my wonderful co-host, back in action, Brad.
What's up, everybody? Been gone a while. I prefer sangria, but we're here to do this.
Yeah. 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 Prefer sangria over the what did they call it? The pool of the holy blood. The holy
The
blood.
holy blood.
Mm-hmm. The holy blood. Brad, it's been a minute. We were supposed to do this last week, but my internet was out for Tuesday to Saturday.
I was
Well,
waiting for my
Tuesday to
power just to
Friday.
stay out.
Fuck you,
Honestly,
Brad. No, man. So Tim Allen's in this. No, it's not. But Stacy is in chat. Thank you, Stacy, for being in chat. But Brad, how are
I
you,
can't.
man? It's been a
I
while.
don't. I don't even want to imagine Tim Allen in this movie.
I don't know. No, no, no. That
Hey,
would not be a good
unless
time.
he's the drug dealer Tim Allen with the mustache that was going on. That one.
Yeah, I don't want to imagine what Tim Allen would be doing in a movie like Santa Sangre, but
I want to know who Tim Allen sold out to not get any fucking jail time for moving narcotics.
yeah, for moving brick, huh?
Mm-hmm. A
Uh,
lot.
what's up, Brad? How are you doing, man?
I'm 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 surviving.
It's
God,
been a while.
I'm glad not to be in an airport.
Oh God, yeah, yeah. Thankfully, right?
Yeah,
Well, Brad was what's it called? Brad came back, and we were supposed to do this, but then my internet was out, so I couldn't record anything from like Tuesday to on Tuesday or Wednesday, which were the 2 days that we would have been able to do this because
yeah,
Brad was going to leave to go on his trip to New Orleans on the 7th, which was on Thursday, but then I couldn't do anything on Tuesday or Wednesday. Tuesday or Wednesday, so I was like,
here we
damn,
are.
here we are
Here we
now.
are.
Brad's back from New Orleans, and I have internet. Yeah, yeah, but yeah, Brad. How's New Orleans? How's the vacation?
It was good. It was good. I feel a little bit more, I guess, rested. Um, I drank a lot, ate a lot. Not much more you can ask for in a trip like that.
Yeah, yeah. And then you started playing Tears of the Kingdom, right?
Yeah, started playing that yesterday, and been playing it today. And that game is. I don't care what the reviews are. They're like, oh, it's got too high reviews. The game's fun. Like I get
Yeah,
it. I get it. It's got PS2 graphics here and there, but the game's still fun.
yeah. I've seen some people play it on Twitch, and it looks good. It looks like they pretty much stick to the same style as Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
Oh,
very much. I mean, it's got a shit ton of stuff to do and find and all that good stuff, but yeah, I'm getting into it. I'm trying not to die too much. Although it is fun when you die sometimes because you're just like, well, that was ridiculous. Just got crushed by a big rock thing. All right.
did you see that one like video of the guy who has the in the background is the audio from the nice guy says aim for the bushes, aim for the bushes, and he throws himself off, and it's just Foo Fighters playing, and he doesn't he's like going through the clouds, so he doesn't see where he's gonna land, and he just
And
boom,
whack.
yeah,
I've
aim
done
for the
that a few
bushes.
times. I got the glider out and I'm gliding and I don't pay attention to how much of the glider's left and it's like, ah, fuck.
Oh man. Well, either way, I'm glad you're back, and I'm glad you're here with me because yeah, I was getting really bored, Brad.
That's what you
Really
said. That's what you
bored.
said last time I was gone.
Yeah. So what's happening, man? I just I had to edit my videos then. That's all I
Yeah.
did. Yeah. I streamed a little bit.
Bro had to do actual work.
Yeah, fuck. I
he
can't just
he
goof
didn't have an
off.
excuse not to do it. That's what he's
Yeah,
saying.
yeah. Had no excuse to put it aside, but I'm caught up with what I needed to edit. I mean, I still have other stuff that I might have to do during the week, but you know, I was just bored without you, Brad. I
Yeah.
missed you.
Missed you too, Ro. But I'm
Yeah.
back. I'm back. I get another trip over Labor Day weekend, but that's in September. So it's
Yeah,
a
what
bit
the hell?
away.
Yeah, it's in September. We're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just hope nobody has a birthday party again.
Or funeral.
Yeah. Well, the funerals are understandable. Birthday
Yeah.
parties? Come on now. All right, man. Either way, I know we have to speed it up because of possible storms going to be hitting Brad, so we're trying to knock these two episodes out today. But of course, remember, this is live and early for our patrons over at patreon.com/slash the nerd core for $1. You get
That's
this.
why Stacy's here.
Yeah, that's why Stacy's here because it's live and early for him. So if you want to check us out over there, patreon.com/slash nerdcore, pledge to the $1 tier, and you get to listen to this episode, watch this episode a day or two or three early before anybody else gets to watch it. And it's live, and you can communicate with us and talk to us. Either if you don't, if you're not a patron, you get to watch this when it drops for the public. But yeah, let's go ahead and get this going, Brad. So if you've never seen Santa Sangre, go ahead and get out of here if you care about spoilers. But if you don't care about spoilers, or you've already seen the film, go ahead and stay. Either way, how it goes, this is your one and only spoiler warning. And it is in effect in a five, four, three, two, one. All right, Brad. I'm gonna read because this is my pick, and then the next one we're doing is yours. So, Santa Sangre, translated to English, is Holy Blood. Is a 1989 avant-garde surreal horror film.
So many adjectives.
Yep. Directed by Alejandro Jodorowsky and written by Jodorowsky along with Claudio Argento and Roberto Leone. It stars Axel Jodorowsky, Adan Jodorowsky, Teo Jodorowsky, Blanca Guerra, Thelma Tihu, and Guy Stockwell. An international co production of Mexico and Italy, the film is set in Mexico and tells the story of Phoenix, a boy who grew up in a circus and his struggle with childhood trauma. It is signed on Empire Magazine's 2008 list of the 500 greatest movies of all time. Cinematography is done by Daniel Nanuzzi, edited by Mauro Bonani. Music is done by Simon Boswell, and it sits at 2 hours and 3 minutes, and it had a budget of $787,000. I think you can tell. Yeah. Um, yeah, that's a small little introduction. So I guess I'm just gonna read um, the IMDb synopsis because there's not a lot of trivia here for this film. But a former circus artist escapes from a mental hospital to rejoin his armless mother, the leader of a strange religious cult, and forced to enact brutal murders in her name as he becomes her arms. So, Brad, you want to go first?
I don't want to go first. You go first.
Um, so I always thought I had already been introduced to avant-garde. I wasn't.
Mm-mm.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Um,
What have we reviewed that's avant-garde?
no. I mean,
Technically.
as in like what I was introduced to in like classes. So like,
But I mean, in us reviewing, have we reviewed anything avant-garde?
no, we reviewed
I've
surreal films like
yes,
the works of David Lynch, like Eraserhead is a surrealist
Eraserhead,
movie.
but
Yeah.
this
No.
Eraserhead's tame.
Yeah. So this. So I think after now watching the second film that we had to do, I think I categorize Jodorowsky's movies under experience more than like an actual like film that you need to understand. I
I
think they're
think
movies that you have to like understand the experience more than actually what's going on the screen.
I think
But
Roll is trying to say we file this under WTF, bro.
yeah. Um I don't know why the hell I started with this one. I'm starting to look into his
I don't know
work.
why I started with the one I started with, so
Yeah.
go there.
Yeah. But I gotta say, even though the movie is pretty confusing and it is a little out there, I was actually kind of interested in this movie, and I was actually like kind of following along pretty well with it. That it is a pretty interesting story about like a guy who, refuses to let go of his mother and kills in her name because he keeps being controlled by his mom, even past her lifetime. Like she's been dead this whole movie, and he's still under her control. So it's an interesting story. I can't say that I was able to pick up on everything that he's trying to say in this movie.
Yeah. I guess I'll just go and say I like this movie. I like this movie, but I like this movie's first two acts. I love the movie's first two acts. Like honestly, some of the best filmmaking I think in those first two acts. But then I'm just lost on the third act. It just it slows down incredibly in that third act,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what kills it for me in this movie. But those first two, I was enthralled in this story. I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm here to watch it.
Yeah.
But once you get past that into his like adulthood and he's his mom's hands and whatnot, it just loses it from there. Honestly, this movie.
Yeah. And like the whole thing with the the girl that like that he was kind of like in love with, and like that whole storyline was kind of like rushed at the end in that third act, where I was like, okay, but I gotta say, I agree with you, Brett. I think those first two acts are fucking fantastic. Like I like what I'm looking at, and I like what
Yeah,
I'm seeing, and I enjoy the
I
story.
mean, even the story, and like you said, this is more of experience, not supposed to be about story, but it had a good story there for those first two acts.
Yeah, I just
And if
like
you hear
once
that,
you get
that's
to the
rain or
third, yeah.
hail.
Jeez, man, damn. Yeah, just when you get to the third, it's just like, oh, okay, like, oh, we just took like a really sharp turn here, and then it just gets slower, and it's like, oh, he's kind of like in like denial whether he should keep continuing to kill for his mother, and then it's just like, oh no, now it's like, now he's just like, okay, I am gonna kill, but it's really odd, like the choices that he makes in that third act, Horosky. But I do really like the ending, and like the way that we kind of like the shot that he chooses, it's like a crane shot, because he's like kind of like, what's it called, like bringing it back, and you're kind of like going back into the sky and looking at them.
Yeah, you're seeing the cops come, and he's
Yeah.
yeah, and he's like
Ah,
my hands, and it's like, all right,
yeah, well, he finally realizes that he's free. He's not.
yeah,
He's not under his mom's what's it called control anymore. He's like, oh crap, like I can actually make my own decisions out. But hey, bro, you're going to jail.
you go in jail. You ain't making many decisions.
Yup. I also really like the music, Brad.
Oh yeah, music was dope.
Yeah, and for like a movie that's like around like circus culture, it gets the circus culture pretty well. Like,
Well, and not only that, it's about like childhood trauma and just what growing up in the circus. I would imagine is not that great because
yeah,
you look at it from his like he was literally just like had his chest carved for the ugliest world's ugliest tattoo other than maybe
Cody Rhodes is
Cody
a.
Rhodes' neck.
Oh, yeah.
And then, but then also you have it on the girls' end. She's mute and was she mute and she wasn't deaf, right? She's just mute.
No,
I
she's
think
just
just mute.
mute.
She's just
Yeah,
mute and forcing to walk like the fire tightrope, but they have each other, so maybe it won't be so bad. But then it just gets worse from there.
yeah. By the way, the tattooed woman,
Hmm.
respectfully, yeah,
Respectfully.
yeah, respectfully. Um, but I mean, like I said, this movie is. I wouldn't say that it's disturbing, but it definitely does bring up a lot of like subject matter that I don't think a lot of people would feel too comfortable around. I mean, there's a point in this film where like she's selling that mute girl into like prostitution, and
And
um,
but I love that shot because she's totally just because I was like, oh, she's been doing this for a while, but it feels like that's the first time that like that happened. Like
yeah,
that is the day she decided to sell her to a big giant, and
yeah.
the girl's just like, I'm out the window.
Yeah. Also, I don't think that she wanted like I don't think that guy even wanted to do anything with her. I think he just wanted to cradle her like a baby, right?
I'm starting, I guess. I don't
I
know.
don't know. It just
I
looked
the
like he was just
drunk
like trying to like put
the
her like
drunk
like
drunk army whatever. I
yeah.
think they were all from different armies or different military
Yeah.
countries.
Well, it looked like those were maybe not federales but state police. State police. Because I mean this is shot in Mexico, by the way. I mean, and it's I what's it called? Well, I really like the locations they use, and there were some songs there that I definitely recognized that they were playing, and I was like, oh, okay. I was like, oh, nice. But Yeah, Jodorowsky's movie, like, so this being my introduction to Jodorowsky isn't like the best because I thought like, oh crap, like I didn't know which one this one was gonna like because you took the Holy Mountain from me. I wanted to choose the Holy Mountain. I actually was gonna choose Topo and Holy Mountain. You're like, oh, I'm gonna need a Topo and Holy Mountain. I was like, oh shit. Like, oh, I wanted to what's it called? Do Holy Mountain because that's his first one and that's the one that really like started it off. But yeah, I mean, for being my introduction, oh wow, you can't hear me, Brad. Oh, well, for being its
I'll
introduction,
unmute it right now for you to hear.
yeah, yeah, I was hearing it. I was hearing it a bit. Yeah, for oh my god, man, for it being the why do they hate us, bro? Why can't we do a review, bro? Like why? For being its introduction, being my introduction to him, I really dug the cinematography, the music, also the acting. I don't have really have a problem with the acting, Brad. Do you have a problem with the acting?
No, the acting was overly pretty great. Like I know there was overacting here and there, but I think that was the point in some scenes. Like
Yeah,
I said, the only thing I had an issue with was that third act, and I think it just got kind of ridiculous in some ways from comparison to the first two. Um, but a lot of it, I was sitting there and I was trying to figure out if that wrestler woman was an actual woman or I I I don't. It was a very huge lady.
yeah, but
Death by
also
snoo
like
snoo going on.
also I found it comical the whole blood like when he cuts the what's it called the mom's
Oh,
arms
both those shots though, where arms are just missing.
were so cool
Those are
though.
great. I
Oh
was
yeah, I
like,
was just like
what the? Because like when the mother's arms get cut, I'm like by the father. I'm like, holy god, that was dope.
yeah, and you're just like seeing her from like the top to the bottom, like just the
Yeah,
blood coming out
that
like
was
that.
amazing shot.
Yeah, yeah, fucking amazing. I just like it was so comical just to see the obvious fake blood. Like it's very obvious, like it's
Yeah,
fake, and I was just
but
like,
but
oh,
but for being what I really like the color in this film too. Like
oh
I
yeah,
like the coloring throughout this film. I like the colors they use, like a big yellow church, and then it's red on the inside, and it just I thought overall, he did a really great job of just his
his look,
showing off his style.
yeah, yeah. He does a really good job at that. I wish that third act would have worked better. I think that we would have gotten a more cohesive third act. It would have been a better movie for me. But I liked it. I didn't hate it or anything. I was just like okay. And of course, like now I was able to sit down and be like and think about it for so long. Now I was like, yeah, I think this movie was more of the experience and not me trying to understand exactly what the hell's going on here. Yeah, but
But it kind of ropes you in those first two acts, being like, hey, there's the actual story,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
by the third, you're like, I don't know what just like it did a 90, it did a 90 and just went off to wherever it went off.
yeah, yeah, 100%, Brad. Well, what is your final verdict on Santa Sangre?
I'm going to give it, I think, a 7 out of 10.
All right, all right. Stacy says, um, so next week is Santa Sangre 2. Two hands, two furious, two. It's
Give yourself a pat on the back, Stacy.
yeah, give yourself a pat. Take a bow, my friend. That one was fantastic. You never even seen this movie, man. Take a
Yeah.
bow. Take a bow. Oh my god. I'm coming in a little bit over Brad because I really did dig a lot about this movie and just the way that it's like it looks and for it being my introduction to avant-garde, I was really interested in how it like played out. I'm going to 7.5 out of 10. I really like this movie.
I mean, this thing would have been like a 9 for me had that third act closed properly.
Yeah, same here. I think like this easily was on track to become a 9 for me. And then just
Yeah.
like it slows down and you're just like, what the fuck are we even doing
Yeah,
anymore?
it gets immeasurably slow. And it's not that
Yeah.
long of a movie.
Joe, it's not. No, not like his other ones.
No.
It's an hour. It's 2 hours and 3 minutes, man. It's not even
Yeah,
that
so
long.
so it's not like I think the next one we'll be reviewing is longer. At least it felt that way.
Yeah, I think that's the case. El Topo is actually 2 hours and five. Wow, just 3 minutes longer.
It
Two
felt
2 minutes longer.
immeasurably longer.
Yup. Yup. Well, that concludes our review of Santa Sangre. So if you all enjoyed that, make sure that you keep up to date with us on the nerdcore.com. That's our website. Twitter at the nerdcore underscore. Brad, Elon announced that he's getting rid of accounts with no activity for a while. And every day I have been checking to see if the Nerdcore is gone, and they're still not
It's
gone.
available.
So Elon, I really need you to get rid of that account, please,
You need to get to chopping, Elon.
please. Follow us on Instagram at the Nerdcore, and then of course, like we said, on Patreon, you get this episode days early before anybody else does by checking out the $1 tier at patreon.com/the Nerdcore. Plus, you can go ahead and check out our Discord link in our description of the audio and video versions. So that way you can talk about all the films of Jodorowsky with us as we continue on with this month looking at his movies. Of course, if you're watching this on the video version, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Click that notification bell so you don't miss a single piece of content that drops on the channel. Also, on the audio side of things, make sure that you leave a 5-star review. It helps us out a lot and it helps lets the channel grow. So 5 stars. You know we deserve it. Stacy says, didn't Elon step down? Pity the poor sucker that has to reassemble the burning pile of Legos. I think he did step down, but either way, whoever's in charge right now, please just get his
he's got a
account.
CEO, and all the Twitter bros aren't happy about it, but whatever.
He wasn't going to stay in charge of it for too long.
No, that's not Elon style. Elon rather
Yeah.
go play with space and Teslas and all that.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised he stayed as long as he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a topic for a different podcast on this network. But yeah, check that out, y'all. Please make sure you give us that 5-star review. We would greatly appreciate it.
5 stars.
Also, we would like to thank our wonderful producer Shane. You can find him at.
You can follow our friend Shane at twitch.tv/xsrk or on Twitter at thriftedil, or go follow the Suppy God at prisoncityvintage.com.
All right. Yep. Crest Hill, Illinois. He got a house, man. Congrats to
I heard
Shane.
Yeah.
Proud of you, man. It's
that
awesome.
man, doing it big.
Yeah, man. Getting all these reasons for
He's
not coming
hustling.
back to stream. You don't need to stream anymore, man. He's good.
I do
He's
miss
good.
him though. That was always fun.
Yeah. I miss the Jackbox streams.
The Jackbox streams were fun.
Yeah. But
Push the button.
I'm sure that he'll come back eventually. He wants to call. He did say that he does want to stream. Last time I talked to them, he's just like so busy. He hasn't done much with that.
I feel like we could do a Jackbox like stream, but
Yeah, but
we couldn't do the rhyme one. It's just you can't do that one.
Yeah.
I learned from Shane that you can't control people and what they put in that box.
Yeah. Also, nobody understood when you put Pablo Escobar that one time.
Except Raul was watching.
To shoot him with Fune too. Remember? You put me Fune or something? Yeah. Shane, either way, we thank you so much, man. Thanks for being a wonderful producer of this show. And thank you to all the other Patreon supporters who make this possible. Without you all, this is not possible, as we have been blessed to be able to do this with you all. So thank you all so much. Of course, if you want to join the Patreon, patreon.com/thenerdcore. And on the next episode, we're going to be continuing on with our Alejandro Jodorowsky Month as we look at his avant-garde, surreal Western El Topo. But in the meantime, we're getting out of here. Brad, you want to send him out?
All right, our old naming host as always. Thank you to Stacy for joining us in chat today. Thank you to all our listeners out there, all our patron supporters. We appreciate each and every one of you. And to end this episode, I'm just going to be saying I'm glad to be back in the chair.
And having 2 arms, right? And having 2 arms, right?
Having 2 arms. You don't know if there's somebody standing behind me, though. Young Yoda out. This is the weird month of the year, y'all.